This is an impromptu live training session. My name is Carla Elizondo. If you're following me or if you're connected with me, then you know me. But I was going through some old slides. Well, not that old. We did a training at the Napoleon Hill Institute about the drifter becoming a leader in your life, from being a drifter to a leader. That's what the training was. And there was these beautiful PowerPoint slides that I am so proud of, because one would think that I am very trained in PowerPoints, but that was not the case. I hated doing PowerPoints, but now I have so much fun doing it. But I wanted to go through these slides and just ask the question, wherever you're at, do you feel like you're the leader of your life? Do you feel like you are in control of your own life? I know for sure that I didn't for years, for decades. I was drifting through life unconsciously. I even caught myself the other day thinking, wow, I do all of this work. I'm a therapist, part-time therapist now. And I, do mindset coaching now pretty much full time. And really what I found is that even when I do this work, even when I'm teaching it, I can drift. I start drifting. What does that mean? I just wake up and I get into those habits of the routines, and then a few weeks have passed. I'm like, what has really changed? Am I any closer to my goal? So I kind of had to snap out of it and say, okay, Carla, where are you drifting? Where can you be more of a leader? So I wanted to share a few of these slides with you. By a few, I mean all of them. And then I'm just going to go over them real quick, but they're so beautiful. I just couldn't keep them to myself. I think we can even go into full view mode, right? Let's go into enter full screen. Look at these. Look at these beautiful slides. So are you a drifter or are you a leader? Again, these are slides that I used during the Napoleon Hill Institute's live event. If you're not in their Facebook group, you should definitely join it. We have amazing live trainings. It was from drifter to leader, how to really outwit your inner fear, how to outwit the doubt that you have in your life. It's based on that book from Napoleon Hill. You might know his book, Think and Grow Rich, but Outwitting the Devil is an amazing book. Don't let the title scare you. It's not like, brimstone and fire, religious devil. It's just that inner, he calls it the inner rascal, the doubt, the fear, the worry, the six ghosts of fear, as he talks about, that keep us from living the life that we desire. So are you a drifter or are you a leader? This quote cracked me up. So Lefford Fate, he is an amazing presenter at the Napoleon Hill Institute. He is a coach, a master coach and teacher. And he said, nobody has ever drifted to the top of a mountain. No one has ever drifted to anything but failure. Really let that sink in. Nobody has ever drifted to the top of a mountain. No one has ever drifted to anything but failure. Is that not the truth? We don't just accidentally drift into the life of our dreams. It's not like, oopsie, I just got to Mount Everest. Oopsie, I just got to the finish line at a marathon. We don't just drift into our goals and our dreams, but we do drift into failure, into waking up and saying, well, where did that decade go? I've been there. People can have anything they want. The trouble is they don't know what they want. Do you know what you want? Truly, right now, today, what is it? Wednesday, what is today? April 24th. If I were to ask you, what do you truly want? Would you be able to answer me? Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, the godfathers of personal development, really taught us the importance of having goals. And as a psychotherapist, again, goals are so important when it comes to our mental health, feeling like we're on purpose, feeling like we're connected, feeling like we have something to look forward to have a vision, to get out of bed in the morning, to have that energy. So what do you want? Do you know what you want? When was the last time you wrote it down? You journaled it out. You shared it. You have a mastermind group. You're working towards it. You have those SMART goals, right? If you don't know what you want, you really have to think about that. That's a scary answer. If I were to say, what do you really, really want? And you're like, oh, I don't really know. You don't really know? What do you get up for? Why do you hop out of bed in the morning? Why do you take a shower? Why do you get ready? Why do you brush your hair? Just to go to work? Just to make a paycheck? What do you really, really want in life? No shame, no blame, no condemnation. But decide, make me a promise. You're going to sit tonight and you are going to write down something that you truly, truly want. I don't care if it's feasible, if you think you're too old. Just write a list. If you could have anything in the whole world, what would you truly, truly want? What sets your heart on fire? And think about that. What do you want? I did it in all caps just so you wouldn't miss that question. What do you want? Because he said here, people can have anything they want. The trouble is they don't know what they want. So what do you want? Do that exercise. I encourage you. So what's a drifter? What's a leader? Let's start on the left. Drifters are intentional. They know what they want. They're driven. They're focused. They're optimistic. They're decisive and dissatisfied. Leaders are dissatisfied. I'll get to that in a second. Let's go over to drifters on the other side, on the right side. Drifters are accidental. They don't know what they want. They're distracted, pessimistic. They have no goals. They procrastinate, and they are satisfied. Drifters are satisfied. So leaders are dissatisfied. Let's talk about that. Dissatisfaction is a creative state. If we are just satisfied, we are settling for what we have in life. We don't want anything more. This is kind of confusing. People get this twisted. They say, well, we're taught and we're programmed. Don't be selfish. How dare you? You're so blessed. You have a house over your head, a roof over your head. You have clothes on your back. You have food on the table. How dare you want more? But we always, as human beings, we are meant to grow. We are goal-seeking organisms. We are never satisfied. We always want something new, something better, something faster. And that's a creative state. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. If we were satisfied with the ink and quill, we would never get the typewriter. We would never have, keyboards. And if we were satisfied with snail mail, we would have never gotten email. If we were satisfied with the rotary phone, we would have never gotten the cell phone. It goes on and on and on. If we were satisfied with, sailing long trips across the ocean, we would have never created the airplane. So dissatisfaction when, churning butter, hello. I mean, who wants to churn butter? If we were satisfied with the roll down window, we would have never gotten automatic windows. So we're always creating because we're always dissatisfied. It's a beautiful thing. Always be grateful, always be happy with what you have. Really, truly grateful, but never satisfied. Because if we're satisfied, then we quit growing. We quit thinking of new ways to do things. Dissatisfaction is a creative state, as I described. Because we're made to grow. Here's another quote from Napoleon Hill. Drifting without aim or purpose is the first cause of failure without a plan for life. Concentrated effort and persistent activity, you will have no means of controlling your own destiny. So if we just drift through life, if we just wake up, again, not knowing what we want, we don't have an aim or purpose. We're not working towards anything. It's the first cause of failure. Drifting without aim or purpose is the first cause of failure. When we don't have a plan for life, when we don't have a goal we're working towards, I don't care how big the goal is. It might be to put the new fire pit in your backyard, or it might be to, move across the country. No matter the size of the goal, a goal is a goal is a goal. It's something to work towards and to put your energy in. It gets you out of bed in the morning. So without a plan for life, concentrated effort, and persistent activity towards that goal, you will have no means of controlling your destiny. Because where are you going to end up? Destiny. What's your destination? Well, wherever the heck you're headed. But if you're just drifting, you don't know where you're going to end up. You can end up shipwrecked. That's, ships without aim or purpose just end up shipwrecked. About 95% of people can be compared to ships without rudders, subject to every shift of wind and tide. They're helplessly adrift. And while they fondly hope that they'll one day drift into a rich and successful port, you and I know that for every narrow harbor entrance, there are 1,000 miles of rocky coastline. The chances against these drifting into port the chances against their drifting into port are 1,000 to 1. This is from Earl Nightingale's program, Lead the Field. And it goes on to say, but the 3% who have taken the time to exercise the discipline, to decide on a destination, and to chart a course, sail straight and far across the deep oceans of life, reaching one port after another, and accomplishing more in just a few years than the rest accomplish in a lifetime. Let's really look at this. So I went back. About 95% of people can be compared to ships without rudders. 95% of people do not have a focus, a destination, a goal, something that they're working towards. They're just subject to everything outside of them, to the winds and the tides and the economy and the gas prices and everything. They're helplessly adrift. They're living from the outside, and they let the outside circumstances and the outside world dictate their inner world. And they just hope that they'll one day drift into a rich and successful port. But we know that he says, for every narrow harbor entrance, there's 1,000 miles of rocky coastline. So what makes us think that we can just accidentally drift through all of that rocky coastline without being, at the wheel, focused, making sure we're turning correctly all the way to the port, to our goal, to our dream. Once we get there, we enjoy it, then we're off to sea again. That's what makes life so fun. We're always moving somewhere. And I'm sure you know people like that. They're always working towards something. Wow, they have exciting lives. They're always maybe posting pictures of their family vacations, or they're going here, or they're going there. They have a new milestone or a new award. It's like, wow, God. And we think these people are just lucky. No, they just set their sails. They have rudders. They point it to where they want to go. It's just a decision. So the 3% of people, Earl, that doesn't math. So 95%. So the 5%, what? Really, it's 2%, I think. 98% of people are drifting. So let's just say the 2 to 5% who have taken the time to exercise the discipline, to decide on a destination and to chart a course of sail, they sail straight and far across the deep oceans of life. So when we practice the discipline and decide on our destination and we chart a course, so we just make a plan, even if we don't know, we've never been there before. We go across that sea of life. We reach one port after another, accomplishing more in just a few years than most people accomplish in a whole lifetime. I love this. Drifting is not obvious. Drifting does not happen overnight. Have you ever, I certainly have you ever woken up and said, how did I get here? I was a good person. I pay my taxes. I go to church. I am kind to people. I'm never late for work. I don't miss any assignments or, briefings or meetings. But yet I am not happy. This is not fair. I did not think my life would turn out this way. It doesn't happen overnight. It's insidious. It happens little by little. It's not obvious. So even like if you're listening to this, or if you've ever been around some like personal development or, personal growth type speech, and you're like, why are they so like worked up? Because when we wake up and we realize, you might not think you're drifting. We are all drifting in some area. We are all drifting. You are drifting in some area of life. Maybe you're not ready to hear it. I sure wasn't. When my mentors or people, teachers would tell me I'm drifting, I would just close my ears and keep going. I'll be like, they don't know me. They don't understand. I'm different. I'm going to make it. I was one of the, 3% that thought that I would just accidentally, I'm a good person. I'm special. I'm talented. I'm just going to end up, someone's going to discover me. That's not how it happens. So drifting isn't obvious. It's insidious. It's a series of 1 degrees. I love this analogy. What's your 1 degree? My 1 degree was alcohol. I'm really open with my recovery story. I used to use alcohol to cope. Whenever I felt uncomfortable, whenever I felt anxious, whenever I wanted to relax, whenever I wanted to celebrate, whenever I wanted to, numb my emotions, I would drink. And to the outside world, no one thought I had a problem. It was a glass of wine here, 3 glasses of wine there. Of course, when I was younger, I would binge drink and party like any other person in a big city would. But as I got older, alcohol became my 1 degree. It was causing no positive things in my life. I had anxiety. It causes anxiety. It makes it worse. So it was like pouring gasoline on a fire. And it was perpetuating my depression. And I had no energy. And it was my 1 degree. It was clogging my connection to myself, my soul, my purpose. I couldn't tap into my intuition. Alcohol was my 1 degree. And we all have a 1 degree. What's the one thing that you're doing that if you stopped doing, your whole life would change? What's the one thing if you started doing, your whole life would change? What is your 1 degree? The story of the boiling frog is a great analogy of the 1 degree. The premise is that if a frog is put suddenly into boiling water, it will jump out. But if the frog is put in tepid water, which is then brought to a boil slowly, it will not perceive the danger and will be cooked to death. The story is often used as a metaphor for the inability or unwillingness of people to react to or be aware of sinister threats that arise gradually rather than suddenly. This happens to us all. And guarantee you are in a situation right now that you are the boiling frog. You are in a situation right now. I don't care if it's your health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, relationships, familial, romantic, friendships, coworkers, money, finances, and career, purpose, and calling. We're being boiled alive. We don't understand that we can change it. Are you truly satisfied on a scale of 1 to 10 in each of those 4 areas of life? Health, wealth, relationships, purpose, and calling, career. What would you rate yourself? 1 being really bad, 10 being the best. Let's take that fearless moral inventory. I can best define the word drift by saying that people who think of themselves never drift. Think for themselves never drift. Yes, while those who do little or no thinking for themselves are drifters. So Napoleon Hill is saying that people who think for themselves, they never drift. A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind. Do you think for yourself, or do you just let the evening news, Twitter, social media, YouTube, Netflix do your thinking for you? Do you do your own thinking? Thinking is the most laborious, energy-sucking. I think Henry Ford, Wallace D. Waddell, so many people have said that thinking is the hardest thing to do. It's not easy. And my mentor, Bob Proctor, always used to quote that educator from Kentucky, Ken McFarland. And he used to say that only 2% of people really actually think. 3% of people think they think. 95% of people would rather die than think. It's so true. People just parrot back what they hear. But do they really think for themselves? If you're not thinking for yourself, you're drifting. So what's the antidote to drifting? Accurate thinking. Thinking accurately, doing your own thinking, using that reasoning faculty, your higher faculty. Accurate thinkers permit no one to do their thinking for them. Gather information and listen to the opinions of others, but reserve for yourself the privilege of making decisions. Truth will be truth, regardless of a closed mind, ignorance, or the refusal to believe. Permit no one to do your thinking for you. Your family, your friends, your, elders, your religious congregation, your government. You have freedom of thought. It truly is our only freedom, the only place where we have free will. No one can take that from us. Viktor Frankl, the author of Man's Search for Meaning, really taught us that. He knew that all the atrocities, everything that he was put through in those Holocaust, those camps, that the only thing that they couldn't take from him was his free will to think whatever he wanted. It's our only it's our only freedom, truly, that no one can take from us, is thinking for ourselves. The habit of drifting is a habit of neglecting to exercise the privilege of independent thought or to use one's own mind. So let's not neglect to exercise the privilege of independent thought or to use our own mind. I'm going to do Living from the Inside Out next time. I hope you enjoyed that. Those were some of my favorite slides. Do you think for yourself? Are you drifting or are you leading? Are you the leader of your life? Do you feel like you are in charge, that you have a destination, that you're going somewhere? Do you get out of bed in the morning and you're excited for your day? I know I used to hear that all the time and I was like, ugh, deep eye roll. Who's excited to get up for their day? That's like, ugh, stupid people say that. People that just want your money say that. But cut to, I was so excited to get up this morning. I am so excited to do what I do. And I had to be honest with myself. I shared that earlier this month, April 1st, I took a huge, huge leap. I quit my full-time, 40-hour, nice salary job to go part-time, per diem as they call it, and go full-time into my coaching and teaching and content creation because it's what I love to do. I'm obsessed with it. And that is what I'm doing. Oh, so on that note, okay, so I'm a part of Sisters Next Door, and we are a group of women who are trained. We're coaches at the Napoleon Hill Institute. We have free trainings like this every first and third Wednesday, and we do live here on LinkedIn and YouTube, and I have it on my Facebook as well. So every first and third Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, we are live here doing trainings, teaching all the stuff that we learn. So make sure you tune in for that. All the links I think are on my page and my info. But also in May, I am launching a couple programs. I used to do this program, 6-week program called Mindset Reset. It is a 6-week program. It was originally for my therapy practice. It was how mindset affects mental health, but it really turned into its own magical unicorn. And it is my favorite 6-week program. And I'm going to start it on my birthday. So it's going to be Tuesday, May 7th, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be live Zoom calls for 6 weeks in a row, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. If you want to join me, message me, let me know. It is super affordable. Let me know. I want to make sure I know who's joining because, not everybody's a good fit for groups. But let me know if you're interested. It's a 6-week program, Mindset Reset. I go over my favorite trainings and lessons when it comes to what the mind is, number one, and how we can really get that inner peace of mind and really make our dreams happen. People call it manifestation, call it whatever you want, but I approach it from kind of a scientific way, but I explain it in a way that I've never really heard before, and I really love teaching it. So if you are interested in the 6-week Mindset Reset, it starts May 7th, Tuesdays for 6 weeks with me, live on Zoom. Message me. I don't even have the page up or any of the links, so just message me and let me know if you're interested in that. I'm also opening up 5 spots for one-on-one. So I have one-on-one packages if you want to coach with me. I do therapeutic coaching as well, so I'm excited to offer that. And then anything else we have through the Napoleon Hill Institute. There is the Think and Grow Rich mentorship program. That's a 12-week program that I do with my sisters. It's a group of 4 women. Well, it's a lot of women, like 13 women. So if you want to join that group, let me know. There's the self-confidence camp as well. There is the self-confidence program with me. That's on my website as well. So I am just so excited to offer all of these services, and I would love to meet you and work with you. This material has absolutely transformed and changed my life. So again, if you're interested in any of that, just let me know. I offer 30-minute free complimentary coaching calls. So just let me know, book a call with me. I would love to meet you. And I am just so excited about the streaming service. I love it. I'm everywhere. Right now I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook. So I hope to meet you. Thank you so much. I hope you